It is time, the long-awaited, perfect chocolate cake. So first we're going to do 3/4 a cup of cocoa with 3/4 a cup of boiling water. This is going to be for your fudge that you're going to be putting into the cake. Super simple, really easy, and it tastes the exact same as a certain chocolatier's brownie mix fudge packets as well. And it's cheaper. Now I'm going to need you to put this in a separate bowl because it needs to cool a little bit, or else it's going to do some really funky things to our batter. So we're going to mix 1/2 cup butter and 2 cups of sugar in a mixer. This is going to cream it together, and it's going to incorporate really well with the other ingredients as we start putting them in. So just go on a medium to medium low speed and just pour in all your sugar. This is going to take just a couple of minutes. Now while that's going, we're going to mix 1 3/4 cup of flour, 1 1/2 teaspoons baking soda, and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. It doesn't really matter how perfectly mixed in it is. People will tell you it does. It's fine. Whisk it a little bit. Now we're going to put in 3 eggs, one at a time, or this is going to put in too much moisture into your creamed ingredients and ruin it. So it's going to look just like that. Now put in your 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Let that mix for just a second and make sure you clean as you go. That's the point of date night, is to enjoy it. Now we're doing our fudge sauce, okay? So you can just pour this in, but the buttermilk that we have and the dry ingredients, we need to make sure that we are putting those in at different amounts at different times. So don't throw those in as well just yet. Let this fudge incorporate all the way, then we can do the other things. So there's our dry ingredients and our 1 1/4 cup of buttermilk. We're putting in 1/3 at a time so we keep the dry and wet ratio just right. And don't pour in your flour too fast. It will go poorly. Now something important here to notice is that your batter is actually staying the exact same consistency because we're doing this method. That's why it's so important to do it this way. I know it's kind of weird, but it keeps it level so that you're not losing that wonderful texture for a cake that you want. So in these prepared pans, check the card to learn how to prepare your pans. We're just going to divide it in equal parts. 1/2 batter here, 1/2 batter in the other pan. And then we're going to give it a little bit of a tap that just flattens it out and gets rid of some bubbles that we don't want in. Okay, so bake for 35 to 40 minutes. Start at 35 minutes because you can always bake more, but you can't bake less. Now we want to check how done it is, or the doneness. Insert a butter knife or a toothpick and it should come out clean just like that. Now we're going to put some cooling racks on top of them. Looks a little weird, but what we're going to do with it is actually flip the pan, and that's going to release the cake for us. Sometimes you may have to tap the middle of it or something like that, but it should be just fine if you prep the pan beforehand, just like this. While the parchment paper may be a little bit too big, it's totally fine. It does not have to be perfect. That's one of the things that you want to know with baking and with finished products. It doesn't need to be perfect. Look, mine tore off a little bit of this and it doesn't matter. All right, this is the fun part. We're gonna frost the cake. Put a little bit of our fudge frosting, go to the card to find it, on the bottom of your cake pan, wherever you're leaving it. That's gonna just kind of hold the cake, see, so when I push forward, it doesn't go anywhere. And then there is no proper portions or amounts, or this is yours. This is your cake. Do what you want with it. So I like having a nice thick layer right in the middle. I think it's delicious. We're just gonna put a little dollop and then spread it out. Don't put too much at a time, or it can actually really kind of glue to and adhere to your cake and it'll tear your cake. which is not what you want. All right, you're on the home stretch. Put on your other layer and do the exact same thing on the top of this one. Now, if you notice, I'm going on the sides. Once again, it doesn't have to be perfect, just delicious. Get it all around the sides. And you're gonna notice that I've got some holes and gaps from where some cake is torn. That just means more frosting, which is just the reason for cake, in my opinion. It's the best time. We're gonna taste this sucker. Oh man, I can still taste it. It's so good. So just cut into it, cut yourself off a nice, beautiful piece, and pair it with some ice cream if you'd like. I love mine a la mode. It belongs that way in my opinion. But once again, it's your cake. Do what you want. Whew. This is my favorite cake recipe. Yowza. Nice big bite. Just, oh, enjoy happiness on a plate.